Jaguar has come forward claiming to have leaked court documents related to an upcoming lawsuit that she says Diddy is trying to suppress. She alleges that Diddy could face criminal liability for his actions and insists she won't allow him to escape accountability.
Like, that's the thing, this trial, sentencing, the verdict, all the hyperbole, all of the pomp and circumstance, all of the this, all of that, it means nothing. It means nothing. This was all done for the public's entertainment. This was all done to get people like me to be quiet. This was all done to give weirdos like Vladimir Laevsky and Torre the ability to constantly challenge and try to check my veracity, my actuality, my truth, and to get the public to not believe whistleblowers like me. That's why this was done. It's not even about Diddy. It's about the rest of them. Do you know they're still having white parties?
According to Jaguar, Diddy's 4-year sentence doesn't come close to reflecting the seriousness of the offenses she believes he committed. And she says Diddy knows it. She claims Cassie never received the justice she deserved, arguing that Diddy engaged in misconduct for more than 2 decades yet ultimately received only 4 years in a low-security facility. Jaguar questions how such an outcome is possible, insisting that Cassie put her safety on the line to come forward, only for federal authorities to fall short in protecting her.
Diddy's getting sentenced for 4 years. Does Cassie get justice in all this? Does that look like...
Still not enough. Still not enough. And it's wild because she's getting such a better deal than dear Lee Cordell Smith is.
30 million and your perpetrator gets 2 months? I mean...
Still not enough. Her life is never going to be the same. People are going to find ways to make her life complicated, to force her to have to spend that 30 million every way they possibly can. You know, there is no hope. There is no win.
Jaguar describes the trial as a complete joke, claiming the prosecution had extensive evidence but chose not to present it. She says even Diddy didn't appear to take the process seriously. According to her, Diddy's legal team revealed right before sentencing that he had already been booked for a speaking engagement in Miami. Jaguar further alleges that this appearance was scheduled to take place at a children's school. She argues that the idea of someone she describes as a registered offender speaking to kids about self-improvement is absurd, saying the situation practically mocks itself.
Please.
There's a woman, what is it called? Sprout to success or something like that. Some kind of charter school, private, independent private school in Miami Gardens, which is right there in the area of South Florida where he's been warned for Satan of. Because he ain't nothing but a shepherd for the devil. But she's going to invite him to come to the school to speak to her students there, K through 12. Yeah. Well, he's not really interested in all of these people that wanted to bring him to schools and bring him to this and bring him to that. How are we going to do that when he's on the SEX offenders registry list? He's not wanting to be away with me.
That does make moving a little hard.
He's not be around school. He's not just ready to do a tutorial about the registry, but he is a registered SEX offender, and people want to bring him.
Jaguar insists that Diddy can't outrun the allegations against him any longer. She claims there are more than 100 civil lawsuits pending and predicts that the behavior described in those filings could ultimately lead to serious consequences for him. In her view, karma is finally catching up, and once these civil cases begin to play out, she believes Diddy won't be able to escape accountability.
Being long, they say with points and time served, and any type of he might be out by Christmas next year.
People say a lot of things. You know what else they said? They said he was going to get bail. How did that work? You know what else they said at the end of that trial? Even after he was found guilty of the main act, they was put together a 4th of July party. How did that work? People say a lot of things, don't they? I guess they don't hear God say no. I don't know what's going to happen to him. I'm not even trying to guess. What I am praying for, though, is that real victims and real survivors actually get the attention that they deserve, that they get the justice that they...
Jaguar argues that Diddy's wealth can only protect him for so long. She claims there is physical evidence linking him to the alleged misconduct and believes that, similar to Cassie's civil suit, the accusations and purported evidence in the current civil cases could be enough to spark criminal proceedings. According to her, this is why Diddy moved so quickly to settle Cassie's case, reaching an agreement just one day after it was filed. She adds that while Diddy may be extremely wealthy, even he can't simply settle dozens upon dozens of lawsuits.
The other 100 civil cases will not just be left civil cases, it will actually be turned to criminal cases because they should be, because I got a big issue. Everyone thinking that money is the end all be all into stopping the predator from operating. It's not.
Amen.
It is not. Why do so many of these cases stay civil? Why aren't they turned criminal when there's criminal acts all through the pages?
Can you file a criminal charge and still get money off of a camera? Like, can you sue later, or is it strictly victims looking for money?
Family. OJ was acquitted and they was able to take him to civil court and get him for free. It really doesn't matter which way you do it.
That is true.
It can go either way. The civil proceeding and a criminal proceeding is just two different proceedings. But if you have criminal acts in a civil proceeding, just because someone gets paid or it gets settled and people get paid out, it doesn't mean that those acts shouldn't be tried first.
According to Jaguar, the most troubling part of the situation is the appearance that federal authorities don't seem invested in pursuing the case to its fullest. She claims investigators seized computers, bottles of baby oil, drugs, and even firearms from Diddy's home, yet says none of that material was introduced to the jury. She questions why this happened, arguing that if federal agents had truly pushed the case aggressively, Diddy could have faced a far more severe outcome.
Onto multiple properties. And they collected all kinds of things that never made it to that courtroom, did it? Not one mention of a firearm. Not one mention, even though some of the testimony said that he carried fire. The way Kid Cudi's car. The way that whole situation happened, I mean, it was on a court document. People were sitting there talking about it, and they still trying to act like that never happened. Captain Paul, like, is everybody forgetting her testimony? I'm just trying to figure it out. Gordon told Kathy. Kathy was the mastermind, but she was doing it all with his corporate credit card. That means that's money. But she didn't ask that. Like, oh. And now, because all of that stuff was redacted, because all of that stuff was kept off the record, and for whatever reason the feds didn't present a lot of stuff that would have made sure that he was gone forever. rather than just being going to November. And it's not going to be November. See, that sentencing is coming.
Jaguar argues that the most serious charges against Diddy were dismissed and that he ultimately received the lightest sentence possible. She points out that while federal guidelines suggested around 9 years, he ended up with only 4. She also notes the contrast between the judge denying Diddy bail multiple times and then later giving him a shorter sentence while encouraging him to change. To Jaguar, the whole proceeding felt staged more like a performance than a pursuit of justice.
I go until Monday. I was actually kind of surprised that it didn't, considering the show that they put on for the public. They put on such a lovely show.
That was a show.
Wouldn't you say?
That was a show. I don't.
Video montage. You would have thought it was like a retirement ceremony, or someone winning an award for lifetime achievement or something. The way they sat there and the way they carried on and the way especially when it gets to a point where lawyers are forcing themselves to tears or almost to tears, talking about how inspiring that deviant is.
Jaguar claims that although Diddy may have cooperated with federal authorities in the past, even that wouldn't protect him if dozens of people pursue civil action simultaneously. She alleges that Diddy already provided the government with as much information as he could in order to navigate his earlier legal troubles. In her view, if he were ever investigated again, he would have nothing left to bargain with for a reduced outcome.
I mean, I don't think. I mean, he would have to turn over at this point in time. He would have to turn over a whole lot. He's going to do some time because, unlike the public, the judge knows exactly what he did. The judge has seen all of the evidence of everything that was kept out, of everything that was redacted, of everything that wasn't presented.
Right.
Like that's the reason why he's still in there. If it was such a clean sweep and if it was such a neat sweep, he would have been got fined.
Makes sense.
It's not that, yeah, but see, the danger of the media. That's the danger of the media. How many bot farms have been put to test to work the algorithm and to work the thumbnails and the storylines of what's really going on?
Jaguar says she obtained court documents related to Derek Lee Carter Lou Smith, who she claims once filed a $100 million lawsuit against Diddy and prevailed. She describes him as the only person who has successfully challenged Diddy in court and now suggests he is working with her to hold Diddy accountable. According to Jaguar, Smith has evidence and documentation, and she believes he is no longer willing to stay quiet.
It just disappeared. Do you know what I thought when I heard it myself? I said, oh, it must have not been real. Because there's no way in the world this isn't going to make it to that trial. You want to know what's even funnier? Diddy went to that jail to visit Derek his damn self. 2024.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Guess what name he was using to go to that jail to visit Derek so nobody would know it was him?
Tom Smith?
Brother Love.
Oh.
That is privacy.
This is very wild. What made you and
The days before HSI raided all of his properties. You mean, what do I think about the powers of big?
but wait, what made you find this rabbit hole to go down?
Jaguar claims it wasn't only Diddy's lawyers who tried to pressure Derek into staying quiet. She alleges that Diddy personally visited the jail where Derek was being held and spoke with him about the case. In her view, this suggests that Diddy may be concerned about what Derek could reveal.
Want to know what's funny? While Mark Agnafilo was sitting there making fun of Baby Oil and doing all the stuff that he was doing in court and creating all of that nice guy hoopla, trying to get everyone to believe that Diddy is not such a terrible person and now he's a wonderful man and he deserves to go back to Madison Square Garden. They could be cheering him on. Do you want to know where else he was? In Wayne County. Negotiating. Derek Lee Cordello Smith.
Wow.
His victim.
Wow.
Why? Would he be in negotiations with him? Did he actually believe that everything that he said in that courtroom was true?
Sounds like
He's a fact. Why?
boy.
About that regale you. Wait a minute.
And as you're pulling it up,
It's your testimony that you had. Your pain, submission, homeland, and he has manipulated evidence to please grace, not only on Derek Lee Cordello Smith, but as well. With the insult being they will flee because they have no choice. No, you will get convictions because the SA victims in those cases are actually victims of Sean Combs and of the actual slavery ring in Michigan. And guess what the response was? So what? Yeah.
this is America.
Jaguar argues that there's more behind Diddy's move to Fort Dix than just the drug treatment program that could reduce his sentence. She points out that Fort Dix is a low-security facility with far less restriction than the MDC where he was previously held. In her view, the minimal security means that, if he wanted to, Diddy could potentially attempt to flee. She suggests this might be his backup plan. If the civil cases against him intensify, she believes he could try to walk away from the situation entirely.
Pockets, it's just left him. He still got enough to play with.
A lot to play with. I mean,
Yeah. For now. For now. They want him to go to New Jersey. They want him to go to Fort Dix, one of the weakest guarded federal penitentiaries in the United States. I would know. I know Fort Dix. It's a real nice place to take somebody. So when they finally get to go outside out in the yard, they can just get somebody to come and extract them right up out of there. You can leave and you don't have to worry about ever being held accountable. See, I'm dumb. Everybody's fool. These days, people like being lied to. They want to believe. They don't the neck bully. And have
2 weeks into his time behind bars, reports claim that Diddy may already be slipping back into old habits. According to TMZ, prison officials allegedly said he was caught drinking homemade prison hooch. This comes after Diddy reportedly told the judge he was sober and committed to change. Now, only weeks after his sentencing, he's said to be drinking again, and if true, the incident could potentially add more time to his sentence. Just 2 weeks into his time behind bars, Reports claim that Diddy may already be slipping back into old habits. According to TMZ, prison officials allegedly said he was caught drinking homemade prison hooch. This comes after Diddy reportedly told the judge he was sober and committed to change. Now, only weeks after his sentencing, he's said to be drinking again. And if true, the incident could potentially add more time to his sentence.
In prison. This comes after Diddy was begging the judge at his sentencing hearing to let him free that day because he said he was a changed man, and this was the first time that he was sober in 25 years. Now, according to TMZ, Diddy has run into some trouble with prison officials after he was caught with homemade alcohol. And in prison, it's usually called hooch, but this homemade alcohol that Diddy was caught with was made of Fanta, apples, and sugar. According to TMZ, the prison officials did want to move Diddy to a new unit after he got caught with this homemade alcohol, but they ended up reversing that decision, and it looks like Diddy is staying in the unit that he is in. What makes this even worse for Diddy is the fact that he's already ruining his potential shot to get an early release. You know that one of the reasons why Diddy wanted transported to Fort Dix prison is because the programs that they offer. Because some of the programs that are offered at Fort Dix could give Diddy potentially up to a year off of his sentence. That's only if Diddy could be accepted and finish the program. And one of the things that they will deny you entry into these programs for is messing up and doing things you're not supposed to do. I mean, Diddy hasn't even been at Fort Dix for a full 2 weeks yet, and he's already doing things like this. Honestly, I can't say any of us are surprised. Diddy is already getting in trouble, and he's only been at this prison for 2 weeks. He still has a long...
Z said Diddy is airing out dirty laundry for inmates. They see Diddy Combs as being to work behind bars, and his federal prison job has him doing, fluff and fold. That's probably what Diddy was ordering with those escorts. Fluff and fold special. Sources familiar with the situation tell us Diddy's first gig at Fort Dix in New Jersey plants him in the laundry room, washing and drying dirty clothes. Manual labor may come as a shock to Diddy. During his criminal trial, federal prosecutors claimed he couldn't even charge his own phone or fetch a bottle of water and would send his army personal assistants to basically do everything for him.
As expected, Diddy's legal team is denying that any such incident took place. His management even addressed the situation on his account in a tweet that has since been deleted. The post stated, "The rumors claiming Mr. Combs was caught with alcohol are completely false. His only focus is becoming the best version of himself and returning to his family."
Sean Diddy Combs is setting the record straight about his life behind bars. Following a report that said the rap mogul, who is serving a 4-year sentence for 2 prostitution-related convictions, was caught drinking homemade alcohol in prison, the spokesperson emphatically denies the allegation, telling People magazine in a statement published November 9th, "There have been several false and reckless reports circulating about Mr. Combs. He has not violated any prison rules. His sobriety and self-discipline are priorities, and he is taking them seriously." The 56-year-old was recently transferred to a low-security correctional facility in New Jersey after spending over a year at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. At the new institution, he was alleged to have created a mixture of Fanta, sugar, and apples, which ferments into alcohol after 2 weeks, TMZ reported. The spokesperson continues, "This is only his first week at FCI Fort Dix, and unfortunately, rumors will surface throughout his time there. We ask the public and press to give him the benefit of the doubt, privacy to focus on his personal growth, and the grace to move forward in peace."
Legal commentators have been weighing in on Diddy's sentence, and many argue that the reported requirement for him to register as a sex offender after his release could make his future far more difficult. According to these analysts, such a designation would severely limit his freedom and put him under intense scrutiny. They note that if he were to violate any restrictions tied to his release, federal authorities could send him back to prison. Some critics believe Diddy's public image and career may never recover, even if he hasn't fully realized it yet. Legal commentators have been weighing in on Diddy's sentence, and many argue that the reported requirement for him to register as a sex offender after his release could make his future far more difficult. According to these analysts, such a designation would severely limit his freedom and put him under intense scrutiny. They note that if he were to violate any restrictions tied to his release, federal authorities could send him back to prison. Some critics believe Diddy's public image and career may never recover, even if he hasn't fully realized it yet.
Now tagged with 2 felonies. He's not free to go about and do what he wants to do. For the next, 89 months or thereabouts, he's going to be under the control of the federal government. And that's no little thing for a guy like that. So here's what supervised release is going to be like for him. It'll be intense at first. They'll drug test him. They'll put monitoring software on his devices. They will, they'll have constant meetings and check-ins and that kind of thing once he gets out of prison. And as time goes on and he demonstrates compliance, the supervision will get less and less intense. Probably to the point where he just has to call in once in a while. But if you get too complacent, and all of a sudden, you don't register, or all of a sudden, porn's an addiction, right? And, if you're looking at porn all the time, guess what? It's tough to stop that. It just is. And I've known clients that have, violated their conditions over and over again, and they wind up going back to prison. Now, Diddy seems to me like he's got some discipline. He doesn't follow the rules. And, the first violation could be like 18 months. Second violation could be this, Or he could be demonstrating such good compliance that he gets off early, which happens quite often. Okay, well, now that but he still has to register as a offender. He still has to do all these different things. Even after he's off of supervised release, he'll still have to register. And if he goes to Miami, because his home's in New York, he's got to check in with the local sheriff and say, hey, some offender in town, that's what he got to do. I mean, this is not an easy thing for him to have to do it down the road. But is it life in prison? No, it's not. Is it 20 years in prison? No, it's not. Is it even 10 years? No, it's not. But it's still going to be something he has to deal with. So it's no little thing that he is part of this community of people that have to be supervised, and he gave the government a big foray into controlling his life. And that's what happens when you decide to break the law.
As if things weren't already difficult for him. Some reports claim that Diddy's safety behind bars may also be at risk. While he's wealthy and well-known, rumors say that other inmates don't take kindly to men accused of harming women, and that this can make prison life especially dangerous. According to these unverified accounts, Diddy is fully aware of the risks. One circulating story even alleges that he recently faced a close call, supposedly waking up with a weapon near his throat before a correctional officer intervened. None of these claims have been officially confirmed, but they've added another layer of tension to the narrative surrounding his incarceration, as if things weren't already difficult for him. Some reports claim that Diddy's safety behind bars may also be at risk. While he's wealthy and well-known, rumors say that other inmates don't take kindly to men accused of harming women, and that this can make prison life especially dangerous. According to these unverified accounts, Diddy is fully aware of the risks. One circulating story even alleges that he recently faced a close call, supposedly waking up with a weapon near his throat before a correctional officer intervened. None of these claims have been officially confirmed, but they've added another layer of tension to the narrative surrounding his incarceration.
Diddy, obviously just starting out his time, well, not just starting out, but starting out his official sentence since being sentenced not too long ago. And I think suffice to say it's not going well so far.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, he's got 4 years and change that he's going to ultimately have to serve, although he has served already a year as he awaited his trial and then went through his trial. So ultimately probably he was going to serve about 2.5 years or so, but it's still serious time that he's going to have to serve. And he has already, at least if you listen to people close to Diddy, been the victim of violence behind bars. So there was an incident that we first learned about 2 weeks ago during Diddy's sentencing hearing, and he said, I was sleeping in my bed in the prison. It's a federal detention facility in Brooklyn called MDC Brooklyn, and there are federal inmates who are in many cases waiting for their trial as well. And Diddy claimed that somebody held a knife to his throat he woke up and this guy basically had him, and he had the knife, and Diddy was at this person's mercy. Now, it's unclear what exactly happened from there. Was there a guard that came in? Did Diddy somehow fight this person off? Well, it seems unlikely that happened. Or did the person just leave? Bottom line, this guy, at least according to people close to Diddy and Diddy himself, could have hurt him badly or even taken his life. And I think that was something they wanted known during the hearing because they wanted the judge to take some pity on Diddy. It probably didn't help ultimately because he does get the 4+ year sentence. But again, this just is something that is the reality of life for Diddy right now. It's a guy who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars who is now living in a prison cell and will be at least, again, for the next 2.5 years or so.
Amid all of this, there's Jaguar Wright, and she isn't backing down. According to her and others who have spoken out, she and Derek plan to keep pressing forward with their claims, which could become a major problem for Diddy, with various allegations, legal filings, and ongoing lawsuits surrounding him. Analysts say that neither fame nor fortune may offer much protection this time. Every move he makes is under scrutiny. Every past action risks resurfacing, and any attempt to avoid accountability could ultimately work against him. Amid all of this, there's Jaguar Wright, and she isn't backing down. According to her and others who have spoken out, she and Derek plan to keep pressing forward with their claims, which could become a major problem for Diddy, with various allegations, legal filings, and ongoing lawsuits surrounding him. Analysts say that neither fame nor fortune may offer much protection this time. Every move he makes is under scrutiny. Every past action risks resurfacing, and any attempt to avoid accountability could ultimately
be someone here who's been here all along. I've been waiting for this moment for 5 years, and here we are. And I'm praying that everyone remembers there are survivors, real life survivors. And I hope that everyone takes into account how necessary a true verdict, a just verdict now. 25 years of pain, 25 years of hurt. And I'm praying that God's just going to do what he told me he's going to do. So I hope we're all just staying in vigilant prayer for everyone on all sides of this. These are human issues, and we need to have real human response and emotion.
Do you plan to be here every day? I mean, during this trial, we're expected to be here.
I'm going to be around.
Have you spoken with anyone who might be possibly testifying, or have you spoken with anyone?
That I cannot say. But what I will say is, my prayers for Al B. Shore are being answered day by day. From the moment that we found out he flatlined to the moment we found out he came back. I'm here vigilant for that. Justice for Kim Porter.